Elon Musk is selling everything to fund his trip to Mars. Elon Musk, CEO, entrepreneur, and Twitter memer. This man has had an extensive public profile, one aspect of which has been his love of the cosmos. SpaceX, the American space exploration company that he founded and serves as CEO of, is very much a business extension of his love. They routinely make news headlines with stunning feats of synchronized rocket landings, bright red Tesla Roadster payloads, and sometimes even devastating explosions and rocket crashes. While Musk's public image has been a similarly dramatic one, by far one of his most unusual statements in recent years has been his declaration that he will sell everything he owns to establish a Mars colony. The question remains, is he serious? And how will he go about making this promise a reality? Today, we'll be discussing Elon Musk's plans for the eventual colonization of Mars and the ongoing sale of his assets to help fund it. Before we even consider the concept of colonizing Mars, it's important to examine the legitimacy of Musk's claims here. In specific, he said he intends to sell everything he has with value besides stocks, and believe it or not, he started that process. In late 2020, he sold 4 California homes, totaling $62 million in a stunning move to prove that he's serious about the Mars mission. Around the time of these sales, in an interview he stated, "In fact, I'll have basically almost no possessions with monetary value, apart from the stock in the companies." He went on to clarify his shocking goal when he said, "If things are intense at work, I like just sleeping in the factory or the office. And I obviously need a place for my kids, so I'll just rent a place or something." Musk, who as of January 2021 is worth upwards of $180 billion, has repeatedly said he intends to accumulate wealth with the end goal of pouring it into the Mars colony. Whether that goal will be eventually reached is anyone's guess, as Musk has been known to stretch the truth at times or exaggerate the validity of a claim. But his company, SpaceX, remains at the front of the charge for space exploration. SpaceX, founded in 2002 by Musk in his early 30s, has broken records, worked directly with NASA for years, and has had a mixed history with mission success. In terms of firsts, this company has established itself as a top contender in the cosmos. SpaceX was the first private company to launch, orbit, and recover a rocket successfully, send a rocket to the International Space Station, send another with humans aboard, and even one to orbit the Sun. It also was the first company ever to reuse a rocket, which they've made a central focus of their cost-saving strategy, which in turn has been one of the company's founding purposes. This was first done in 2017 with their Falcon 9 rocket, now used as SpaceX's primary launching vessel for all of their projects. The intention described by Musk is to eventually transition all of their launches to a single standardized system called Starship, a fully reusable and interplanetary intended rocket with a set target, Mars colonization. While that prospect is undoubtedly exciting, the timeline for this mission isn't entirely clear and has already been changed a few times. The consensus from Musk and his company is to launch the first unmanned Starship in the early 2020s, with the manned Mars mission following soon after. Now, colonizing another planet isn't a simple task, nor is it one that's ever been successfully done, let alone attempted. Musk has, however, laid out a general outline for how the colonization effort would play out. First, as mentioned, SpaceX will launch an unmanned Starship to Mars and return it as an initial test to the company's ability and to ensure the world that sending humans would be safe. They'd follow soon after with the first manned mission, sending several Starships with fuel equipment and necessary essentials to begin founding a self-sustaining colony. And to tie it all together, they'd embark with a crew of around 100 people. The success and efficiency of the settlement would be assessed. Musk himself would likely travel to the Red Planet soon following, and once the foundation is set, the future on Mars is up to the rest of everyone on Earth. The colonization of Mars involves countless issues beyond the harsh environment and lack of breathable air. The Outer Space Treaty, signed by over 100 countries, says that no individual person or entity can lay claim to celestial bodies outside of Earth. So who would govern Mars? Would SpaceX get to decide? Since they're the reason the colony exists in the first place. Maybe the US government or the United Nations should determine how things work on the Red Planet. Questions about government and rules can be ironed out over time, but sustainability will not be the decision of the first colonists. Clearly, the burden is on the rest of the population to determine whether to invest money, time, and potential lost lives in order to make humanity multi-planetary. Will business and corporations feel the need to invest initially into the colony's growth? Or will they let it slowly rise to stability and then bring their support? Is there room for them to stay on Earth altogether? The future of the Mars presence will come largely from its perception and success in being self-sufficient. Clearly, however, a settlement on the deadly planet millions of miles from Earth is going to be locked in an uphill battle. Knowing about Musk's plans to continue to sell his assets and SpaceX's general plan to get humans to Mars, we're left with the question of why. Why even leave Earth? We've been surviving here for ages. We have advanced society, and everything we need is right here on our little blue marble. Why leave? The answer really comes down to a sense of the bigger picture. While extinction events and earthly issues are reason enough for some to want to pack up and leave, why exactly does Musk want to? He's given an array of answers, but they come down to that bigger picture of making humanity multi-planetary. He proclaimed during a 2020 interview, "I think it is important for humanity to become a spacefaring civilization and multi-planet species, and it's going to take a lot of resources to build a city on Mars. I want to be able to contribute as much as possible to the city on Mars. That means just a lot of capital." He truly believes our species is one that's meant to travel the cosmos and explore the infinite universe. While maybe not believed by all to be doing it for the right reasons, as astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson has expressed skepticism, it's clear Musk is well on the way to tossing his fortune into a dangerous idea. He's also talked extensively about how he thinks space is an inspiration to the greater human imagination, citing the immense tidal wave of support that comes following every successful televised SpaceX launch. But are we ready? Has our species grappled with the possibility of history being made in the next few years? Whether it's the first humans to set foot on Mars, or the first humans to die tragically while trying. Think about this. Humans haven't left Earth's orbit since the Apollo moon landing. And that was 50 years ago. Why is that? Most in their middle age know it was due to the space race between the USSR and the US. The US may have landed the first man on the moon, but the USSR launched the first man into space and the first into orbit. Clearly, competition, even if during the Cold War, is a major driving factor in space exploration, as it is in any business or sport. Elon Musk is contributing to what NASA has been attempting since the moon landing, which is space exploration for exploration's sake. While China, India, Russia and other countries are desperately trying to prepare their own manned Mars missions, we look to SpaceX and NASA to lead the way into the next jump past our moon. And who knows, maybe in a few years, the US will find itself in a new space race with different countries this time. Maybe that's what space will always be to humanity above all, a business opportunity. Musk doesn't seem to think so, based on his actions in founding SpaceX on the principle of going to Mars, selling his properties to help fund it, and lessening his earthly impact. It really does seem like this man genuinely wants to push our species beyond the planet we call home. Musk said, "I'm also just trying to make clear that I'm serious about this. And it's not about personal consumption, because people will attack me and say, oh, he's got all these possessions, he's got all these houses. Okay, now I don't have them anymore. And that, in itself, is sparking our imagination, like he wants it to.